New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 CLIMAX 31 Day 15 results. It took place at the G1 CLIMAX. It continued on the Sendai this morning. Shingo Takagi took on the Great Okan in the main event, while Zack Sabre Jr. faced off with Toru Yano in the semi-main event. The other tournament matches we had were KENTA versus Tanga Loa and Tomohiro Ishii versus Yujiro Takahashi. We also had Kota Ibushi versus Satoshi Kojima, plus Hiromu Takahashi versus Kosei Fujita were the non-tournament matches that we had today on this show. So we already know who we are. We're the Almighty SOS Wrestling Network. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And let's get into it. So, first match we had on the show, of course, Hiromu Takahashi taking on and defeating Kosei Fujita. 7 minutes and 46 seconds. We got Hiromu giving Fujita a little bit more than he gave Owa last night, but they had pretty much the same basic match here. Oya wanted to wrestle, but Hiromu just chopped his chest raw. Oya hit a slam. Hiromu was able to cut him off with more chops. Hiromu went for a crab, but Oya used a small package for a near fall. Hiromu did hit more chops. Then he used that Boston Crab to get the victory right here. So much more the same. Doesn't mean it was bad, but it helps us move on up the card right here. Kota Ibushi taking on and defeating Satoshi Kojima in about 14 minutes and 56 seconds here. I'm not even really sure Kota Ibushi broke a sweat. He still had a great match. This is real good stuff here. They started the match trading headlocks and shoulder tackles. That's how they started it. We get Kojima going for a plancha right here. Kojima also hit a rolling elbow in this point. Ibushi's able to block a cutter, and he countered that into a last ride for a 2 count. Towards the end of the match, we get Ibushi blocking one lariat, but Kojima hit another lariat with his other arm for a near fall. Ibushi hit a massive lariat on his own. They both hit some simultaneous lariats. Ibushi went down, but Satoshi to Kojima, he did not. Ibushi was able to block another lariat. He hit a V-trigger, used the Kamigoyo to get the victory here on the veteran, that is Satoshi Kojima. I thought it was a good match, but like I said, Kota Ibushi really didn't break a sweat. It was a breeze here. So moving on up the card, we have on Block A action, Tomohiro Ishii taking on and defeating Yujiro Takahashi with Peter, even 17 minutes. Ishii is not going to have a bad match at this point, even if he's in there with someone who's not really up to his level. I love Yujiro Takahashi, but he's not at Ishii's level. I'm not going to hold you with that. So we get the ending sequences here. We get these guys trading strikes right here. We get Ishii blocking a big juice, They did a great series of counters and reversals toward the end. Ishii hit a lariat for a near fall. Then he put him away with the vertical drop brainbuster. It probably didn't need to go 17 minutes, but hey, it is what it is. So moving on up the card for Block A action, we have Bullet Club versus Bullet Club Violence. KENTA taking on Tanga Loa right here. Kind of what's been a trend here, and KENTA gets the victory, of course. KENTA usually is saving himself for the big spots, for the big matches. I guess he just didn't consider this a big spot. This wasn't a bad match, but I just marvel at sometimes KENTA just able. He just really does not in a bad way, but he just does nothing. I just kind of marvel at it, and I'm like, I kind of love KENTA for that. So the ending sequences, we have Loa hitting KENTA with a powerbomb. We were attempting to hit him with a powerbomb, KENTA blocked. Loa went for ape shit. KENTA backed him to the buckle. He was able to schoolboy him with the feet. He actually hit him with Loa hit a low blow on KENTA, so it was kind of back and forth, gesticulation between both the guys. They too sweet after the match. All is well. Bullet Club is fine. So the penultimate match of the show, we have Zack Sabre Jr. taking on and defeating Toru Yano. 6 minutes and 42 seconds. This was short, sweet, to the point. This is a typical Yano match right here. So we got Yano, and they were actually trading amateur holds to start the beginning, which I thought was kind of cool. And, Yano's like, let's wrestle, let's not go outside. Yano used to cross the arm breaker into this match, but he instantly got countered by Zack Sabre Jr. He hit a belly-to-belly on Zack Sabre Jr. here in this match, man. So this is actually, like I said, more of the same, but more of Yano sprinkling in his amateur background right here. So towards the end of this match, Yano brought out a pair of handcuffs. Sabre cuffed himself to Yano, They beat the count back in the ring. It was really funny. It was like a buddy cop movie right there when he did that. Buddy cop comedy movie when they did that. I swear I can speak English. So it was a nice visual. Like I said, they beat the count back in. Yano was able to use a fireman carry into a cradle. They traded cradles here at this spot. We got Zack Sabre Jr. using his own arm breaker. Yano got the key out, but Sabre kept him from freeing himself, and Yano tapped out here. So then we get to the main. I thought it was a decent match. Like I said, short, sweet, to the point, Yano comedy match. Now we get to the main event. We have Shingo Takagi taking on and defeating Great Okan in 25 minutes. 50 seconds right here. This is a damn good match, but this match, it was something that's stopping this match from going to the next level. So Shingo had his ribs taped up, but Okan really didn't go after him until about the 15-minute mark right here. They kind of went back and forth. You take your turn on offense, I'll take my turn on offense. So on that type stuff right here. So once he's able to start getting into those ribs, he's using bear hugs on him. He's starting to slam him to the pad. We get Shingo blocking an eliminator attempt, and he actually used his own cross arm breaker on the great Okan. So, and he snapped back the arm. That was a great visual. So we get Okan absorbing 2 lariats here. Shingo was able to block a pump kick, and he used it to set up the Made in Japan for a good near fall. Okan reversed the last of the dragon, and then he attempted to hit Shingo Takagi with a gourd buster. They start trading strikes from this point. Shingo blocked the iron claw with a short forearm strike. Okan blocked the last of the dragon. Okan blocked the pumping bomber with a lariat. It was a nice lariat for a near fall right here. Shingo is able to fight back up and use his fighting spirit. He's able to block the eliminator. He hit his own dragon suplex, hit the sliding forearm, pumping bomber for the near fall. Then we get Shingo hitting the last of the dragon for the pin. So we get Shingo Takagi getting the victory right here. My recommended matches from the show, honestly, if you ask me, If you ask me, my recommended matches are probably Tomohiro Ishii and honestly Satoshi Kojima versus Kota Ibushi. Recommended matches. We have a show on tomorrow morning. Let's see if I can pull up the card for you guys tomorrow. So in Block B action, we have Kazuchika Okada taking on Tama Tonga. Jeff Cobb versus Evil should be really interesting in more than one way. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Yoshihashi. Hiroki Goto versus Sanada. We got Taichi versus Chase Owens. Hiromu Takahashi and Bushi, better known as Los Dos Peligrosos versus Roy Oya. I'm sure I'm killing that dude's name. And Kosei Fujita. So we're the almighty SOS Wrestling Network. Be sure you like, share, subscribe, all that great stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll be back tomorrow with day 16 of the G1 CLIMAX. So signing out of here, Toodle Pippington.